midwife at the end of the bed, smiling at her. "It's time," she said. Eve stared at the woman, confused. She was sure that she'd seen her before, but a lifetime ago. How could that be? Then she remembered it was the same midwife who had greeted her when she first got to the hospital. The woman had stayed a while, busying herself while chatting about the many babies she had delivered, and then she had finished her shift and clocked off with a cheery wave. How long had she been gone? How was she back already? What had she been doing while Eve was stuck in this purgatory, trapped between her old life and her new one? Something normal and pleasant. Perhaps she'd gone home to a loving partner, and they'd shared a bottle of wine and a home-cooked meal. Maybe she'd gone out with friends for dinner, or to see a film, or even just an early night, curled up in bed with a good book before drifting off into a peaceful sleep and waking up fresh-faced, ready to deliver some more children. Eve was not fresh-faced. She was rancid. Sticky sweat had dried to her body and long strands of her dark hair were cemented to her forehead. She wanted to shave it off. She wanted to punch everyone. She wanted to kill the man who stood next to her. She wanted to die. "When I tell you to push, I need you to push down like we talked about. Okay, Eve?" Eve nodded, barely listening. She didn't want to push. She hadn't even wanted this baby. They had barely known each other when she got pregnant, and by the time she realized that she'd made a mistake, it was too late. She looked at him now, her eyes burning. He smiled back at her, calmly observing her with the same deep brown eyes that had lured her in months ago and fooled her into believing that her life was about to get better. "Okay, Eve, push now. Come on, push!" She closed her eyes and pushed half-heartedly. "Push, Eve! I am!" she screamed. It was all she had left to give, so it was all the midwife was getting. A minute later, the midwife urged her again. "Push now, Eve! Push!" This time she barely even tried. She wanted to give up, to curl up into a ball and disappear. "Eve!" The midwife sounded urgent now. "I really need you to push. Come on." "Eve," Mike begged from beside her. "Come on, Eve. You can do this." But she couldn't do it, and she didn't want to do it. Another wave of pain, another round of people shouting at her. Screw them all. But then an urge came over her, which was so strong that she could no longer deny it. Even if her mind was conflicted, her body was not, and it had decided that it was time to get this baby out. She closed her eyes and pushed with everything she had. She pushed and screamed and pushed. The pain stopped. The world came back into focus. She heard a cry and the midwife showed her the baby, holding it up to her like it was some sort of sacrificial offering. "A girl," she said. Eve's arms stretched out towards the baby, suddenly desperate for her. The tears on her cheeks were no longer of agony, but of joy. How quickly things could change. The pain and fear of the last 24 hours already forgotten, amnesia kicking in straight away. She almost laughed with the euphoria of it all. This was heaven, not hell. She no longer hated everyone. She loved them. The midwife bundled the baby off to examine her, and Eve watched carefully, concerned, seeking reassurance that everything was okay. Mike placed his hand in hers and squeezed it gently, and this time she didn't flinch from his touch. She squeezed him back. And then she was there, her very own daughter, placed gently into her arms. Eve looked down at her baby's beautiful little red, scrunched-up face and couldn't believe how much she loved her already. She held out a finger, and the baby grabbed it, gripping onto it tightly.